Hello everyone, it's Pokemon here and welcome to another episode of Skyrim Special Edition. Today episode 128. Today we'll hopefully find out what happened to Serana's mother. That is she dead or no? Maybe find another scroll. But yeah.
Any luck yet? You did? Let me see them.
Why can't I what's this Soul Cairn that she mentions? Why can't I trade with her again?
I only know what she told me. She had a theory about soul gems, that the souls inside of them don't just vanish when they're used. They end up in the Soul Cairn.
Why did she care where used souls went?
The Soul Cairn is home to very powerful beings. Necromancers send them souls and receive powers of their own in return. My mother spent a lot of time trying to contact them directly, to travel to the Soul Cairn itself.
If she made it there, we'll
That
find.
circle in the center of the room is definitely some type of portal. If I'm reading this right, there's a formula here that should give us safe passage into the Soul Cairn. A handful of soul gem shards, some finely ground bone meal, a good bit of purified void salts. Oh, damn it. We're also going to need a sample of her blood, which, if we could get that, we wouldn't even be trying to do this in the first place. Not bad. We'd better hope that's good enough. Mistakes with these kind of portals can be gruesome. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get started.
Are all of those ingredients here?
Definitely. Mother would have plenty of those materials in her laboratory. You just need
Yeah,
to find
I already took the ground, whatever they were called, the shards. Let's see, where can I find the ingredients? Earth salts, white salts. Perfect. Yep. Then there was one last thing I think was that, what was it? Finely ground bone meal. Excessive would be here. Now, Serana. Actually, no.
Get the ingredients in that vessel and let me know when you're ready. Just get all of the ingredients into the
Portable
vessel. Then the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to do when I add my blood. Then the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely... Okay, here goes. Ancestors. Created a portal in Soul Cairn. Incredible.
Soul Cairn. Interesting.
Let's go. My mother must be waiting on the other side of that thing.
Started beyond death. Okay, Valerica.
Did you know I visited elsewhere once? What a strange and wondrous place.
talk to that one.
My ship. What happened to my ship? Where am I?
Where'd you come from?
Oh man, seriously. They made skeletons look a little different and renamed them.
Stay back!
Oh yes, I think I checked after last episode and two-handed is already at 100, so which would mean I would.
The air, the ground. This is all wrong.
Did I pick up what weapon? Okay, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't necessarily need that or that. Okay, now let's see. I do still want to keep this weapon 2. Probably. Actually, I can put this as 8. I can take. Go here, where smaller, massive smaller ball. I can favorite that, and then I can. That just number 2.
I think a vampire would be right at home in this place. I could be wrong. Let's just find my mother and get out of here.
Seems like a very big place. Some side place where.
Only those who have suffered long can find the light within the shadows. You must help me find my Arvak. He doesn't deserve to be in a place like this. Arvak, my horse. We came to this horrible place together. We were attacked by monsters, so I told him to run. Please, he's such a loyal creature, and he's been running for so long. You have to save him. A place like this will change you.
No way.
Arvak? Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come back! Till next time.
Till next time, seriously. That's all he says.
I feel terrible. The dead went. Here for eternity. Seems awful. Like they're still suffering.
It's that place actually. Wonder how far I can go in different directions here. I don't really want to check that out right now. Like how far I can go. I wonder if I can come back here later sometime, just do hear things. I doubt it, but kind of want to help him find the skull of his horse, but So I can't get further away than this. That direction. I'll check if I can find that skull of that horse somewhere close by. Okay, I have no idea how long it would take to go through this entire place. I'm not gonna do that right now, but okay. Well, I do kind of want to go and continue the actual quest, so... But yeah, I definitely should probably go.
Who's there? I knew I heard something.
Okay, it's upstairs somewhere. Cat's out up on top of that. Not seeing any skulls of horses. Yeah, I should definitely continue again. That's my goal. Interesting, that was actually a horse.
Emptiness consumes me.
Well, look what we have here. Let's just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers. How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer?
No, but he sounds like that.
You got it. Horse, wagon, and all. Plopped here without so much as a word. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. How people would track me down just to see what I had for sale. Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look around. Gold doesn't exactly win you any friends around here. I'll tell you what. I appreciate what you're trying to do, so I'll play along. The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, those ugly fungus-looking things growing out of the ground. Bring me, say, 25 of them, and you can rummage through what was left on my cart. Odds and ends I've gathered over the years. Well, used to gather, before all of this nonsense happened to me. Tell me what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal. If you have the husks. You've still got it, Morgan. I'll send you.
One moment, guys. Okay, so I checked, and apparently you can return here whenever you want, so I'm not that worried about the quests here, except for the main quest right now. Which is why I'm here, so... Let's see where this leads.
Mother? Mother!
Can't be. Serana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to complete the prophecy our way, not his.
Wait a moment. You brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you. So how has it come to pass that a vampire of mixed blood is in the company of my daughter? Safe? You call bringing her here safe? Has she explained nothing to you? Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you. You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself. When I fled Castle Volkahar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Ariel and his arcane weapon, Ariel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon. Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor. Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible. If Harkon obtained Ariel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires. And how exactly do you plan on completing the prophecy without the death of my daughter? If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. Don't you think I weighed that option before I enacted my plans? You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. You see the tyranny of the sun as your chance at deification. And like Harkon, you won't hesitate to destroy anything that stands in your path. Serana? This stranger may call himself a vampire, but he knows nothing of our struggle. Why should I entrust you to him?
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
Dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
If you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us, so we have to stop him before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me, but for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can. Yes, I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins. You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending it, and it should bring the barrier down.
Oh, why not?
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat. When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place. I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they crave. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here. The Ideal Masters unleashed their keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins. Unfortunately, since the keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach. Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in. I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance. Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that. I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence. Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims. The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them. The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls. As you've been traveling in the Soul Cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, a bit of the Soul Cairn filled the void. You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer. Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish, and never again fear the tyranny of what he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition. If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated. I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future.
Makes sense.
Be careful, and
Yep.
keep my daughters safe.
You're definitely gonna be careful.
Steal those keeper things and get back to the prison.
One. There are quite a few of them. Is it that tower? Yep, it is. I'll save the game over here. It's interesting that I can harvest souls. Let's look at this. Oh! Okay, this is gonna be a little more tricky than I expected. Wonder if the souls up here are gonna say anything to me. Now that I killed that guy. Okay, there are none anymore. Weird. Over there's one and one, like at least that one looks similar to this one, so I would guess that there's one of them and then one of them would be somewhere in that direction.
Where'd you come from? proper to get back to the prison.
Arvak! You saved him! His soul is free, I can feel it! He's such a loyal beast. Here, I'll teach you how to call him to you. He'll help you get around this wretched place. But I'm sure he'd be much happier someplace sunny. Goodbye, hero. Take good care of Arvak for me. Such a good horse.
Conjuration. Or is it in power? Okay. Okay. Should be cool. It is kind of far away though.
How does anyone expect me to write my opus with all of these rude interruptions? What do I mean, indeed? If I hadn't lost all of the pages, I wouldn't be in this predicament, and we in this conversation. Very well. I suppose a moment or two of my time couldn't hurt. I am Chib. Some call me Saint Chib. Others call me Chib the Eradicator. Perhaps you've heard of me. I can't say that I'm surprised by your answer. Until I get my second volume published, no one will ever know of my achievements. A book? I'd hardly call a 26-volume epic simply a book. Surely you've heard of the rise and fall of Saint Chib the Eradicator, hero of Morrowind and savior of the Dunmer. Maybe you should leave the writing to an expert. Stop making foolish suggestions. Terrible. Simply terrible. I was in the midst of writing the second volume, and they just threw me into this prison. It's unfair. So what? What in the name of a Vic are you talking about? All I remember is that damned Remora and his minions bursting into my home and sending me to their prison. Well, I assume so. It cast a spell at me from some kind of strange black crystal. Next thing I knew, I arrived here. What? Wait. That means... No. All these wasted months. Or has it been years? I don't even remember how much time has passed. No, my work will never see the light of day. My name will be forgotten. Perhaps. Do you have a way out here? Maybe I can't leave, but my writings can. In order to write the second volume of my opus, I need the notes from my first volume. Otherwise, I need to do all of this from memory. When I was tossed in here, I felt myself falling, and I dropped the pages I'd been holding. There were 10 of them in all. Find them for me, please. I beg you. Well, that's a ridiculous question. Everyone traveling through here has said that the Oblivion Gates have been opening all over Tamriel. Has it been that long? It started with the followers of Mehrunes Dagon having Emperor Uriel Septim VII assassinated. Without a septim on the throne of the Empire, Dagon was able to leave Oblivion through the gates and attack. All I heard is that without a septum sitting on the throne of the Empire, the dragon fires in a place called the Temple of the One were no longer lit. This meant that we were vulnerable to the forces of Oblivion. Well, I don't know. Everything seemed fine until that Dremora attacked me. I only heard later about the gates of the other souls. I can only assume the gates have been closed by now. Ah, yes. Say Jib the Eradicator, Jib the Magnificent. I've earned a lot of those titles thanks to my campaign against the Winged Menace. Yes, I'm speaking of the Cliff Racer, of course. Wretched things. They used to crisscross the skies over Morrowind like vermin. Nasty flying creatures with a habit of sneaking up on the unwary. After I was freed from prison, I decided to turn my life around. Give something back to the people of Morrowind. It became quickly apparent that the best way I could help would be by wiping out the Cliff Racers. Indeed I was. I hunted down and killed every last one of them. Took years. The people of Morrowind were so grateful to have the roads safer again, they took to calling me Saint Jib, and then the other names followed. I had just moved from my ancestral home in Morrowind to the continent of Cyrodiil. I settled in the city of Kavach to write my memoirs and to find some peace and quiet. Indeed, I was writing diligently, and the next, my door bursts open. It was a cadre of Dremora. The city was under attack. I took it upon myself to join the cause and fight the Dremora, thinking this would simply be another feather in my cap. The reason I'm standing in front of you as only a whisper of my former self should tell you that I never knew what became of Kavach. I wonder if they were triumphant without me. That was a dark time in my life. I did a lot of things I ended up regretting.
Seems like he's becoming
Maybe that's
thinner
why
and
I
thinner,
worked
like
so
lighter
hard
and
to
lighter.
redeem myself once I was freed. I murdered others for money. And before you think I belong to some romantic or secretive guild, think again. I was simply an addict who needed money for skooma. The stuff wasn't cheap, and murder always seemed to be in demand. I finally bit off more than I could chew. I was paid to assassinate some high-ranking official from House Redorin. What I didn't know is someone had hired the Morag Tongue to kill Israel. Exactly. He got to my target first and called the guard to cover his tracks. By the time I got there, the place was on fire. Walked right into a trap and didn't even realize it until I was captured. They tried me for murder, threw me on a prison ship, and sent me to the jail in Vivek City. Gave me a lot of time to think, that's for sure.
Okay.
It's again a subject
I'll definitely do that
I do without
next
my
time.
pages.
But I do think that I will have to end this episode here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment, maybe subscribe, and I hope I will see you guys again next time. Bye bye.